This application, while running this application, will get some problem. We'll feel getting some difficulties. What are the difficulties? Right click on project, run as, run on server, click on next, app1, click on finish. Which method I am specifying here? Either get method. We are not specifying any request type, means get is executed anyhow. So first of all, we have to launch the login.html file, right? But tell me, this login.html file is first file to my web application. Every time we are accessing login.html is meaningless. Tell me, that is my first application, right? That is my first file to my application or not? But every time I am calling, first of all, launch the login.html file. So that is the first application. Tell me, when I click the Gmail, by default login file is displayed, right? It won't ask click on login button. By default the login file is displayed or not? By default the login file will be displayed. In the same way, here I don't want every time I don't want access to login.html file. I would like to make this login.html file is the default, like a welcome file to my application. Welcome file in the sense what? The first file is displayed in the web application. That file is called what? Welcome file, like welcome page. To specify the welcome page, we have to go for the web.xml file. In the web.xml file, we have to configure welcome file list. How to configure what? Welcome file list. In the welcome file list, we have to configure welcome file. What is the welcome file here? Login.html file is my first file. Like that, I will configure welcome file. I will configure what? Welcome file. So you can run the application once. You will get the clarity regarding welcome file list. What is the welcome file here? Run as, run on server. Click on next, app1, click on finish. Do you want restart? You can restart, no problem. So now tell me, here I called any login.html file once again. Directly that file is displayed, right? Put the file here. Login.html file. This is called what? Because of welcome file list configuration. That's the reason in the project level it is always recommended to specify the welcome file list. Which file you want to display the starting, that file is called what? Welcome file. How to mention that welcome file list? How to mention what? Welcome file list. I hope the welcome file list is clear. Any doubts regarding welcome file list? So this information regarding what? Welcome file list. And I will give one more point regarding this welcome file regarding this project. So good. We are doing this project by using Eclipse ID, right? So this is called welcome file list is completed. We did some invalid validations. This is get request login failed. So here it is displaying everything details. You can check it if you want. What are the details here? Less secure, right? So username RAR, password is SFDSF, some data is printed. Do get is what? Less secure, because it won't contain any body field. The request format contains only header fields. All the requested details are appended to header only. This is called header. The point is clear? Good. This is, we are doing the project by using Eclipse ID, right? When you do the practice by using Eclipse ID, let me close this Eclipse ID. So I done some practicals regarding Eclipse ID. So can please, I will show the workbench. We saved your application, right? I will show the workbench. Where we saved this application, tell me here. Local disk G, advanced Java folder. In the advanced Java folder, local disk D, advanced Java. In the advanced Java folder, my application is called what? app1 I saved. In the app1 web content folder, here login.html. This is your login code. This is your login file. So like that. So web.inf folder, this is web.xml file. Lib folder does not contain any file anyhow. So this is src folder. Src folder contains what? Your So some students are completed project by using Eclipse ID, but they don't know how to check the source code where my application is saved. They are asking, Ratan, I saved my application, I done everything, but I am unable to find where my applications are saved. I would like to copy my data. I would like to copy my code. Generally they are doing the copying from Eclipse ID. But tell me, Ratan, where my application is saved? Some students are there. I am not blaming those guys. If you don't know the points, learning the point is not at all not a matter. How to get the subject? Don't think it is a small point, it is a big point. We have to know the things. So don't think in negative way. So try to get the subject. Local disk G, Eclipse side, advanced Java folder, and advanced Java app1. Here SRC means your source folder. This is COM folder. This is my login servlet. This is a code regarding login servlet. So in this file, my applications are stored in this line. I hope you understand, right? This is my workbench. I shown just workbench. Advanced Java folder is in. And one more point here. Some students are asking. I shown this is some students are asking, Ratan, where is workbench? Where is my how to check my files? This is a workbench. I saved advanced Java folder in AP1, right? That is workbench. Some students are saying, Ratan, I done my project by using Eclipse ID. I done my project by using Eclipse ID. But I don't want to run my project by using Eclipse ID. I don't want to run my project by using Eclipse ID. I want to run my project. I did my project entering Eclipse ID, but I would like to run this project manually. Manual in the sense what? I would like to copy paste my folders into web apps folder. The Tomcat contains so many folders: bin folder, lib folder, config folder, temp folder, work folder, web apps folder. These folders, right? In that folders, deploy the project means what? Where we deploy the project, we are placing the project into which folder here? Web apps folder or not? So we are placing the project into web apps folder. In that way, I did my application by using Eclipse ID, but I would Eclipse ID I'm running project means what? The folder is generated, right? I would like to paste that folder into the Tomcat server. Ratan, where is that folder is available? So I will repeat one more time. Eclipse ID I did practicals. Tomcat contains internally web apps folder. In that web apps folder, I would like to place my Eclipse ID project. Web apps folder knows what? Classes folder, WebINF folder is information, right? I hope you understand. I did my application by using Eclipse ID, but I would like to copy paste this folder into what? Tomcat web apps. I will run the Tomcat manually. I would like to execute my application. In that case, when we do the Eclipse ID project, the Tomcat folder is stored in some location. I will show that location. So what I am saying here, when I did the practicals by using Eclipse ID, when we do the practicals by using Eclipse ID, the Eclipse ID internally generates Tomcat folder also. Eclipse ID internally generates what? Tomcat folder also. Tomcat folder in the sense one folder is generated we can place that folder in Tomcat web apps folder, we can run that application in that place also. Eclipse ID generating Tomcat folder, you can copy the Tomcat folder, you can place into Tomcat web apps folder, you can run that application in the Tomcat also. Ratan, can please show me practically, then we'll get clarity. So the theoretical points I hope it's a little bit heavy. That metadata folder is created, click on metadata folder. The metadata folder, plugins folder. In the plugins folder, number of plugins are there. You will have to go for the server-core. This is called server-core. The server-core here, temp0 folder. Temp0 folder. We have to go for web apps folder is there, right? This is web apps folder. Sorry, WTP web apps folder. Here we having root folder or not? app1 folder or not? This is your app project folder. This folder you can paste into Tomcat web apps folder. I did my project by using Eclipse ID. In the Eclipse ID advanced Java folder, you are having metadata folder. In the metadata, plugins. In the plugins, server-core. This is my server-core. Your temp0. Here we are having web apps. I have two folders are generating here. Anyway, WTP web apps. You have to go for WTP web apps. You can check files are present in web apps only. Sometimes extra folders are created. This is called app1. This is my project. You can check this project once. app1 folder. And the first steps to design the first application. In the steps to design the first application, I discussed the folder structure. Project 1, in the project contains group of HTML files, JSP files, JavaScript files, and it contains WebINF folder, right? It contains which folder here? WebINF folder. WebINF folder contains classes folder or not? Contains com.dss.login servlet. I hope you understand, right? This is the Tomcat server, the web apps folder structure. Eclipse ID is not showing this is classes folder. but the Eclipse ID internally generates the folder for Tomcat execution also. Let me copy this example, Control C. I copied, Control C. So can I place this example into the Tomcat server, where I have to place the server here, local disk C, program files, Apache Foundation, Tomcat 7.0. We can apps, you can paste it, continue. Then run the application, then run the server, bin folder, Tomcat 7. So run it. Application is running, then access the application. So how to access the application? http:// localhost:// what that port number, default port, but while running the while installing the server, I give the port number is 9999. That is my port number. Next one is what? Manager app. How to click on Tomcat, username, password, Tomcat and Tomcat. Click on login. So the installation files are present, the deployed files are present in what? Here, applications. So you can please check AP1 file here. Running status is what? True. So it is possible to run this one here. Sometimes if you want redeploy means here redeploy. Undeploy means I will undeploy also, first redeploy. You can stop means it will stop, it won't be execute the application. Running status will become false. First of all, let me run the application. When I click the app1, what happened here? Login, welcome file list is configured, right? Welcome file list is configured means first of all display welcome file. So username, what is the username here? Ratan. Password is what? Ratan. Login file. Check it. This is my first application. This is get request login file. In the same way, success message Durga Ratan. In this case, login success. This is my first application. Get request login success. Name is Durga. Password is Ratan. In this way, you have to run the application manually. I hope you understand, right? Once I done the project by using Eclipse ID, the project present in which location here? The project is present in which location here? Local disk G. In advanced Java is my location. Metadata folder, plugins folder. In the plugin folder, server-core. Anyway, here repetition is not required because last time I completed this point, right? If you are unable to understand, you can go back once again. You can resume the video. You can go back. You can play the video once again, right? One YouTube beautiful option is there. You are unable to understand, keep on. In the classroom, once you are unable to understand, the faculty goes forward. But in the YouTube means, we are unable to understand the movie means once again you are able to watch that movie, right? The same way, this is also movie. If you are unable to understand, you can watch the movie once again. Server-core, you go for temp 0 web apps folder, app1. You can copy this folder into the web apps folder. We can run the application, we can run the server like this. But I want undeploy, stop the server. You can stop. When we stop, what happened here? Running state will become false. So you are unable to run this application. What is saying here? The requested resource is not available. Means welcome file, like welcome file is displayed. Why welcome file is displayed means there is a public resource, right? Public resource. The public resource you are able to access, no problem. But private resource is what? Login Servlet is a private resource. We are unable to access the private resource. We can access the public resources, right? Good. You can start it. Once you start that one, so go the username Ratan, password is Ratan, login file. So it is a stop and start. If you want stop, you can stop, or you can start. So I'm starting. Once you start, the application server is what? Status is true. You can running status is true means you are able to run this application. So now you can reload. You can reload the data. If any modifications are done, you can reload the data. So your section is expired session is what? The ideal greater than 30, less than or equal to 30 minutes, greater than or equal to 30 minutes. If you want to undeploy the project, so what happened here? Undeploy the application context path app1. When we undeploy the project means the project is destroyed from here. There is a project here, tell me. So app1 is destroyed. So when you use the undeploy program files, Apache Foundation, So Apache Foundation, Tomcat 7.0, BAPS folder. Here also the application is removed from the folder also. When we use the undeploy option, the data is removed from BAPS folder also. So there is information regarding what? Undeployment. I hope you understand, right? In that way, we are able to copy the Eclipse ID project into the Tomcat server. We can run this way. We can run this way also. This information regarding what your, so the basic observation, like the main differences between the do get and do post. This is the main part regarding the first application. So I hope you understand this all the points, right? So here in this video we discussed what is the difference between do get and do post. Can you please run the first application? What is the first application here? So everything is step by step. First of all, prepare the login.html file, login servlet, then web.xml file. Once everything is ready, then run the application. So when we change the do get to do post, post method, get method, sometimes the project is not working. Can you please restart your Eclipse ID? Can you please close the Eclipse ID, then restart the Eclipse ID? In the project level, we won't get this type of problems, because in the project level, we have to decide first which method we are using. Clear? There's information regarding what do get and do post. So mainly we are using do post only. Present application we are not using do get. We are not using do get. I hope you understand this request format and response format. Who will prepare this one here? HADOOP protocol. We don't bother about what is the request format internally. Who will create it here? HADOOP protocol will create it. And it is possible to see the request format headers and body. We will discuss later those points. And you know how many approaches are there to create a servlet here? 3 approaches. And the HADOOP servlet contains the 2 service methods. One service is converting normal request to HADOOP request. One service is deciding which request you are executing, like that. And it is possible to copy the data from Eclipse ID to Tomcat. So Eclipse ID means server-core plugins folder, metadata plugin folder is there. In that file, the Tomcat folder is there. You can copy the folder from that place to this place. You can run this application. I said how to stop the data and how to undeploy. Once you click undeploy, what happened here? The entire project is removed from the server. And I hope you know the build path and class path configurations, right? So what is the difference between build path and class path? So generally, my Eclipse ID required servlets required servlet-api.jar file. What is jar file name here? Servlet-api.jar. If it requires servlet-api.jar file means we have to do the build path configurations, right? In the Ratan, I am doing my project by using command prompt. I am compiling my application by using command prompt. If you are compiling application by using command prompt, we have to set the class path of servlet-api.jar file. How to set what? Class path of servlet-api. So generally, you know, the students, I am not blaming students, but do be careful. I hope you are doing the practicals by using Edit Plus. We are doing the practicals by using Edit Plus means we are compiling the application by using command prompt. If you are compiling the application by using command prompt means obviously you have to do it. Now it depends on what? Class path. But in the real time you are using class path. In the real time you are using class path. You are not using class path. So fully outdated. So this class path is worked out for only command prompt. So in the core Java application we are using Edit Plus. That is good, because core Java is the basic thing. We have to get 100% knowledge. The reason core Java that is good. So when we set the class path is worked out only for which one here? Command prompt. The class path is only for what? Command prompt. Next one is what? What I am using Eclipse ID. For the Eclipse ID you have to use what? Build path configurations. So in the command prompt, class path is equal to the Eclipse ID build path. Eclipse ID build path. And one more point here. Ratan, I did class path. I would like to write my Eclipse project. The class path is not worked out for Eclipse ID. The build path is not worked out for the command prompt. That's different parts. I did class path. The class path is not worked out for the Eclipse ID. Rather, in my system already class path is there, but my Eclipse ID Java Eclipse ID project is asking the error message. It is saying error messages. Rather, already everyone says class path is permanent. Class path is a permanent for the command prompt, not for Eclipse ID. Class path is permanent for command prompt, not for Eclipse ID. Class path is permanent for a command prompt, and Ratan, I am doing the practicals by using Eclipse ID means you have to configure what? build path configurations. So clear? There's a difference between the class path and the build path. The class path, build path, you have to think of the group of jar files. What is the jar file contains? What is jar file contains? Group of dot class files and a complete welcome file list also. What do you mean welcome file list here? The starting like what? Welcome page. The first page of the web application is called what? Welcome file list. You can configure the welcome file list. Where you have to configure welcome file list? Tell me. Web.xml file, you have to configure the welcome file list. So clear? Good. So thank you guys. I'll meet you next video. We'll discuss the remaining part of the servlets. Thank you.